Okay, so welcome to the annual UNCA Management Department Advertising Competition. Throughout the year, I have my 357 class do a 30-second public service ad on anything that they choose as long as I okay it. And then I invite 3 independent people from outside the department to judge which is the best ad. Our judges today are Sonia De Palma, who's an associate professor in mass communication. She teaches strategic communication, and I've known her for 6 or 7 years. We have Steve Plever, who works in the communications and marketing office here at UNCA, and I've just met Steve now, and he seems to have quite an interesting career. Former broadcaster, radio journalist, voiceover in ads, and if you get on call waiting while you call up UNCA, you'll be hearing Steve. You put on hold. And Bill Schultz, who's a member of our advisory council, our advisory board. Bill has had an international career in a number of countries. He highlights Geneva, I highlight Andorra, just because I've been there. He's also an adjunct faculty member at Lenore Ryan. I really wanted to thank Bill because he stepped in at the last minute because someone else got sick. Okay, you know the order you're going in, so without further ado, can I call on the first group, which is Arch's group.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria, and this is Arch, and this is Sam. We're going to show you our first video ad, and let's begin.
All right, so that was our ad. As you can see, it was a PSA for anti-littering. We decided to do this one because it's a common problem. As you can tell, anywhere you go, you see litter. We wanted to speak directly to our target market, so we did some research and we figured out what items were littered the most. It turns out that 50% of litter is accounted for by cigarette butts. Cigarette butts are the most littered item in the US right now, and then at 33% fast food items are also one of the most littered. And then fortunately, Victoria and Sam fit the age range for both of those products. 18 to 25-year-olds are some of the most heavy smokers and fast food eaters.
Another reason we chose cigarettes is because 75% of the people who smoke say that they littered any time in their life. 50% of those people say that they litter in the past month. So there's a real market for people littering who smoke. We also had a shot in here of trash that was already placed out. That's where the fast food was there. If an area is already contaminated with trash, you have about a 90% more likelihood to litter in that area.
And we tried to focus on the emotions, so what are we going to show for the next generation? That's why we portrayed the ultrasound.
Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. What was at the very beginning, the young lady was opening a piece of paper that looked like what?
Ultrasound.
Why did you do, why?
What will you leave behind? It was talking more about the next generation that's going to inherit the earth.
Yeah, it was trying to just kind of give them a little bit more call to action by seeing the ultrasound and just expecting a baby on the way.
Did the other judges pick that up Did you see that as an
I
ultrasound?
knew
Yes.
what it was, I wasn't sure of the connection. I had difficulty making the connection.
I picked that up right away, and I kind of liked that it took me 10 seconds to figure out what is this ad is about. So there was a little bit of suspense, which I worked for me, about why are they throwing the butt on the ground, what is this about? My question is, if you're targeting that audience, how do you speak to them? Have you thought about the mindset of a smoker versus a non-smoker, and what kind of appeal might work?
The vast majority of past littering ads have had like an emotional tail to them. Like, have you ever seen the Indian ad going through a canoe and then he stops? Yeah, so, yeah, so we were trying to follow the main demographic that has worked in the past.
I have one more question. What do you want your viewers to do? What would you want them to, don't litter? I mean, that's,
Yeah, we want them to pick up their trash and not leave anything behind that they, don't find acceptable for their kids to be living in, basically.
How did you select this music?
We weren't allowed to use any music that's protected by copyright, so we found a file online by no copyright and we edited it to work out with our shots.
Hey everyone, my name is Luba and this is Matt, and we're about to show you our ad. So we chose to do water conservation as our public service announcement because we believe that people don't realize how scarce fresh water really is. So water is a resource used every single day, oftentimes irresponsibly or absent-mindedly. While nearly 70% of the world is covered by water, only 2.5% is fresh, and the rest is saline and ocean-based, and then even then, just 1% of our fresh water is easily accessible, with much of it trapped in glaciers and snowfields. So we use water not just for ourselves, but for our pets as well. If the average American uses 80 to 100 gallons of water per day, then imagine how much it increases when it comes to using water on our pets. Now we're not saying that you shouldn't give water to your pets. We're just saying that you should keep in mind that the water we overuse absent-mindedly is used by other humans and animals and plants as well, and we need to take care of all of them.
So our ad was targeted towards millennials because they're currently the largest generation alive, and we wanted to create something they can relate to as well as understand. In the ad, we focused on the use of water for basic necessities when we start each day, because it's the little things that we do with water that we really don't think about consciously. From flushing the toilet to making coffee or tea, we just don't really realize how much we use daily. We wanted to highlight the issue of water scarcity because of the current global freshwater crisis. Almost 98% of seawater is unfit for our consumption, and with both populations and temperatures ever on the rise, that means the fresh water we do have is on short supply. So, as the largest generation alive today, millennials have a huge impact on the environment, and it's up to them to change the world before it's too late. We're going to play the ad again, and then we'll open up the floor for questions. And we'll open up the floor for questions now.
First of all, I like the music very much. That's nice. I would say, in all these scenes, it looked like a fairly average scene. Were you trying to demonstrate abuse of water, or was just normal use of water?
Just the normal use of water.
Because that's kind of what my house looks like in the morning, so I'm glad that I'm not abusing that. What did you want to provoke? Did you want to provoke what? Awareness? Look at the website? Be careful? What were you?
We wanted to provoke awareness as well as looking up the website or even finding your own ways to conserve water, because there are, easy ways like not flushing the toilet when you go number one, or like, certain small things you can do, turning off the faucet whenever you brush your teeth, and just the little things that we really tried to, have people keep in mind that water is very scarce.
One quick question. Did you think about benchmarking when you showed the number, the average American uses so much water? Did you think that's 50% higher than the rest of the world? Or did you think about benchmarking how we're abusing water, or we're using more water than the average person?
Yeah, we didn't really think about, really segregating America from the other countries. We just wanted to kind of just throw a general, and I mean, we're in America, so we thought that it would relate to our target audience that we were really trying to go for.
It's funny, the music for me, it was very cheerful, and the scenes were normal, and I was left, there wasn't a feeling of scarcity. And so, was that a conscious decision to not show, a low river level or something else that would get people to go, oh, this is a problem?
Yeah, we definitely thought about that. We had an original idea that didn't play out, and it was going to include some water running and then like some music playing, and then it would like tune out to just the water running. But there was like issues with editing, so I don't want to use that as an excuse, but we tried to go certain different routes, and we just went that direction because it was the best option for us.
It seems to me that the conservation is more implied than explicit. I think it does good on awareness of the different types of how much water you use per day. Okay, so I don't know if that was what you're...
It wasn't explicit in the video. We tried to do it with sound, but I'm not sure how much it really popped. But during some of the scenes, this individual, when she was filling the coffee pot and filling up water bowls for her animals, she left the faucet on as she stepped away, and we tried to kind of invoke that awareness of don't leave the faucet on when you're not currently using it, you're walking away. It's very subtle, but...
Okay, good.
Thank you, judges, for being here today. We really appreciate it. My name's Johnny Waters. This is Brianna Lloyd and Lauren McKeel behind me. And our advertisement is a PSA to get active.
Whether you're lifting weights in the gym, playing basketball, or just going outside, stay active. The life of a student is full of chaos. Class, work, and maintaining a social life can be very stressful. 30 minutes a day of physical activity can greatly improve your mood, health, and productivity. Asheville has tons of activities to offer. Don't fear moving forward, fear standing still. Get active.
So we ultimately chose Get Active as our public service announcement because it's a very timely message, always important. There's not going to be a time when getting active isn't something that us as humans need to do. I work as a personal trainer here at the school, and I see firsthand all the time how just even an hour of physical activity can really help someone improve their mood and their way and a bunch of other places in life. We chose our target audience according to a study by the American Psychological Association that says millennials ranging ages 18 to 25 out of only 29% of those 53 that say exercise is important to them actually do so. A very low number of people actually get out twice a week to exercise. And you'll also notice that there's more women in our commercial than guys are. That's not just because that's what the makeup of our group is. That is intentional. And that another study, according to the same American Psychological Association, said that women are more likely to skip exercise when they're stressed out. 56% say that they exercise twice a week or more, and that's versus 70% of men who claim to do so more than 3 times a week. So we wanted to make sure that we had more females shown in the commercial, especially doing the voiceover and doing different activities outside of the gym where it's often seen as, you know, maybe a threatening and hostile environment at times. All our locations, all the action scenes that you see were on campus. So if you're a student here, which this advertisement is for, hopefully you'll be on campus at some point during the week. And you can utilize any of the resources that are here in this advertisement. So now I'll give the floor to Brianna, who will talk about the significance of her role. All right.
So when we chose to do the basketball scene, we chose the scene because basketball is a unisex sport. It can be used to let off steam. It's very fun, and it doesn't have to be taken serious. You can be shooting around, or you can play pickup games with your friends. Here at UNCA, we have more than one basketball gym, so it's an easy escape from just going to the regular gym to get a workout, and you can improve your skills at your own pace. As far as doing the voiceover, we decided to use a woman's voice because women tend to be more motivational and empowering, so people are more receptive to listen. And we really, really wanted to target the audience of women students because of the statistics that men are more likely to work out than women are in stressful situations. And we just wanted to make women aware that you can be active without being serious.
And so not all students are necessarily comfortable with the traditional gym setting. So that's why we included the hiking scenes. We wanted to show a more non-traditional approach of working out. Living in Asheville, there are tons of fun and free options of enjoying the outdoors. For example, we have the Blue Ridge Parkway, Pisgah National Forest, and the Botanical Gardens, which are right here on campus. These are all excellent ways for students to stay happy and healthy. So through our third component, we just wanted to remind students to escape the library every once in a while and take advantage of what Asheville has to offer. And we'll play it one more time.
Whether you're lifting weights in the gym, playing basketball, or just going outside, stay active. The life of a student is full of chaos. Class, work, and maintaining a social life can be very stressful. 30 minutes a day of physical activity can greatly improve your mood, health, and productivity. Asheville has tons of activities to offer. Don't fear moving forward, fear standing still. Get active.
Now we'll open up for questions.
I think it was a good ad. I like the different activities. Did you think about, and obviously, well, to me, your target audience is UNC Asheville students.
Yes.
Did you think about at the end throwing in a gee whiz number here? Now that we got the background of your ad, it's interesting that women don't like to work out as much as men, and X% of women are not working out as maybe they should. And did you think about throwing in a little gee whiz number or a gee whiz statistic right at the end?
We did think at times of adding some more words into the advertisement, but we just really enjoyed that final scene of the mountains, going over it. And then we are marketing to millennials who sometimes don't like to read. But it's just true at times. It did come to our consideration, and we chose against it just to keep it as implied and not in your face. Yeah.
How did you decide to go with the voiceover versus using music?
So when we decided to do the voiceover, we first just included music, but we felt it was very important to get the message across that we weren't just implying workout. We were telling you, to get active, take advantage of everything that's around us on campus, views, and just, staying as stress-free as possible. And we just kind of wanted to vocalize that in the video, and I felt like we did a good job at really putting that out there.
Yeah, we're going for more of a, like we said, a public service announcement more so than, hey, look at us working out. We're real cool.
I thought that one thing that I picked up, actually more the second time, was your face, Johnny, with the discussion of stress. You had that. I presume that wasn't coincidental, and that worked. But my question as someone who's not your target audience, but as a man who goes to an early morning workout class that's like, 80 to 90% female most of the time. Most of the weights are small, more reps, and I think because the class is mostly female and more targeted that way, that's probably also in their minds. And you picked the big guys, and just did you think about that? I was wondering if you're not scared that's not a deterrent for women to get in the gym, to see those giant weights.
I guess.
Oh yeah, let me talk about it.
So I guess we're kind of trying to be inclusive of like lots of different types of students. Like we got the buff guy, Brianna and I are more just like I'm more into outdoor stuff, non-traditional. And then sports, like we have intramural and stuff, so you don't necessarily have to be, on a team. So I guess we're trying to like include like lots of different types of students, if that makes sense.
Thank you for that comment though. We didn't, I wanted to put 2 plates on that bar if it was going to be on a video, honestly. Thank you. Thank you very much.
My name is Colin Wilkins. This is Raekwon Miller and Alex Borte. And our commercial is actually for a nonprofit organization called Aware, Awake, Alive, which helps to prevent alcohol-related deaths, particularly among the youth and young adults. And one of the things they do is educate young adults on the seriousness of driving while intoxicated. And our ad focuses on the driving while impaired aspect of Aware, Awake, Alive's mission. So here's our commercial.
Okay, so when we made this ad, our target market in mind was young adults aged 18 to 24, and we just wanted to really keep like a serious intent on the video with like the music in the background to help like exemplify the like serious consequences you can have when like getting behind the wheel and deciding to like drive after a couple of drinks out with your friends. But with more than like over 10,000 deaths per year in the past year due to like drinking and driving, we wanted to definitely like have a serious twist on the video, and that's why we felt like we should go this way with like the intent of showing us drinking downtown and then deciding which one should drive and getting behind the wheel, and then just serious consequences in there. Anything else you want to say?
Are you okay?
Me?
No.
I'm fine.
All right. I'm worried about you there.
All right, so we'll play the ad again.
Originally, actually, our first idea for this video was they were going to actually hit me with the car, and then I thought to myself, and I was saying, Alex, getting hit by a car doesn't seem like a good thing for your future. So we changed it to just a quick little turnaround with the lights flashing in my face so that you can see the sudden impact and then crash. So, gonna play it again.
We show the phone number at the beginning, and then we show a phone number at the end. What is that? That's the number for this organization? Will they provide a driver, or will they?
No, what they do is they provide educational materials and they help people set up local programs so that they can educate students or just general youth members of the communities about the dangers of not only drinking while intoxicated, sorry, my words are getting twisted. Not only drinking while driving, but also the negative consequences that come with doing so. Because not only could you kill somebody, but you could also kill yourself, you could kill your passenger, you could damage property. There's a bunch of negative outcomes that outweigh the positive benefits. So.
But you showed it at the beginning and the end. Why did you show it at the beginning?
I'm gonna take a bite out of Johnny's book here. As millennials, we don't really like to read things that often, and if you have the number playing constantly throughout the ad, it seems like you'll lose focus on it, and that's why you play it once at the beginning to sort of just generate the interest and wonder, what is that number for? And then you see at the end, the number is for the hotline. I can get educational materials. I can help others not make this choice.
I found the break in the music persuasive. That worked to me. That kind of got you. So yeah, go ahead.
I was going to jump in and say
I don't have a question.
The
so
cuts
go
were.
ahead.
I don't have a question either, and I guess we save our comments for later. But the sound cut was good. I will say that I did think the number was to call for a ride, and that's why you were repeating it.
So some confusion, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Morgan, this is Austin, and this is Katie, getting the video up. And we're gonna show you our ad basically based off of Play 60.
We asked a group of kids to join the movement and show us their game face.
Everyone has the chance to play.
However you play, pledge 60.
So overall, this was not only a great opportunity for us, but a great opportunity for the kids that we worked with. And a lot of this and going into this took a lot of organization and time management, and we had to get paperwork signed by the principal, to the teacher, to the parents, and to make sure we could film all their children, and everything ended up working out great with that aspect. And so our classroom experience overall, it was absolutely amazing, positive. They were great listeners, and the best part was once we were done filming, we got to go outside and play with them, and they actually had a few students that played sports that we play here on campus, and they were super excited to talk to us. And this was overall not just a feel-good experience, but a feel-good ad, in our opinion. And as soon as we were in the classroom and the students saw us, their faces just lit up, and they were just so excited to go outside and play with us because they knew that we were coming to go outside and play with them, and we were gonna have an awesome surprise for them outside. And I'd say the most challenging thing we went through was we came across that Asheville overall doesn't have a very big NFL presence. And so by focusing on Play 60 with NFL and getting kids to go outside and play and having them put the jerseys on really helped kind of broaden the NFL experience in Asheville, and we met this challenge by having them put these on. And so I'm going to turn it over to Austin so he can talk about the target market.
So the target market of our ad is the younger generation, more specifically grade school kids from grade 3 to 8. And the mission statement of NFL Play 60 is to encourage kids to be active for at least 60 minutes a day in order to combat child obesity. And one of the way NFL Play 60 does this is through after-school programs. And one of the way we decided to aim at our target market is by using them in our ad. We believe that if other kids saw our ad and saw these kids having fun playing outside, that they too will want to go outside and have fun. And plus, we got the kids at Weaverville Elementary School to pledge 60 on that day we did the recordings, and hopefully they will continue to pledge 60 every day. So that's already a group that we have encountered, and they are pledging 60 every day. And now I'm going to turn it over to Katie, who's going to talk about our call to action.
Okay, so we had kind of a unique call to action in our ad, kind of starting it in the beginning and kind of tying it up at the end, which really allowed us to have this story-like timeline to our ad. So first, in the beginning, the ad is introduced. You see the kids in the classroom, and you have Austin's voiceover, who asks the kids to join the movement and show us their game face, which really created this cute and creative way of getting the kids outside, getting them excited, getting them active. And then, in the final frames of the ad, we circle back to the call to action by having me with the kids there, saying everyone has a chance to play, and in unison the kids join in saying even you, which we think really drove the message home, saying that's not only us, the marketers, kind of setting this call to action out there for kids, but the kids themselves challenging their peers, people like them, to also join them, like Austin said, to pledge 60 in that kind of situation. Finally, with the closing scene, we have the hashtag Pledge 60 come up, and we have however you play, Pledge 60, which really gives the action that we're hoping to follow from this ad, to pledge 60 minutes a day to play. We also provided the web link under the Pledge 60, which allows people who hopefully are interested by this ad to then follow to the link and get more information about what they might be looking for. So we're going to play the video again and then take any questions.
We asked a group of kids to join the movement and show us their game face.
Everyone has the chance to play.
However you play, pledge 60.
Any questions?
Number one is so adorable, that little guy. How is, sorry to show my age, are people aware what Play 60 is? How many people know what that is? Do you know what that is?
It's 60 minutes of activity a day.
Yeah, so it's NFL's campaign to really just get kids active. Typically, they do it through, they hold events at their stadiums. I think Charlotte's had a few with the Panthers. They demonstrate like bringing the kids on buses to these stadiums and having those interactions. But one of their big campaigns is starting these after-school programs with children across the globe, in elementary schools primarily, and just getting them after school, getting them out on the field and getting some activity in.
Did you think just for people maybe my age, to show 60 minutes a day can make a difference, or 60 minutes of activity, just one line in there to throw in there to maybe to educate the viewer, to increase the message? That's just my, did you think about that or no?
I don't think.
I think we just assumed that everyone kind of knew what it was. I've seen it on the commercials, and they have online the website.
Yeah, it's a pretty big campaign, but I do understand where you're coming from, and hopefully by having that logo up there, we kind of generated some knowledge about it just through that.
And that's why at the end we had the web link, so if you were curious to see what it was, you could just click on the web link instead of spoiling and get more traffic to the website.
Okay. I'm thinking if you had young children, you might know. Just put that in, you might know with it. Honestly, it took me the second pass to see it, and then I went, pledge 60 minutes a day. Then it came to me. But
I got it. I had a broader question because they are totally adorable, but I'm a parent, and your target audience is kids, and I'm just wondering, I've seen the stuff my kids watch. They're a little older now. There are kids playing with toys, but there's a lot of times adults talking to them, animated characters talking to them. Did you research at all who is the best way to get a kid as an endorser, as a spokesperson, as a presence?
So we thought that instead of having the parents tell the kids, hey, you need to go play outside, like get off your phone, get off your Xbox, that the kids wanted to go outside themselves and play. That's another reason why we had the kids at the end in unison saying, even you, like so even, like the kids are challenging the other kids to go play outside rather than someone saying, hey, you need to go play outside because that's what you need to do. Like we wanted to be something that they wanted to do rather than that they needed to do.
Kind of start that bottom-up movement in that way, which is partially what we're targeting there. Well, thank you.
Sorry. My name is Christian. This is Braulio and Parker, and we did a commercial focusing on saving and conserving trees in Western North Carolina, and we worked with a local organization called Greenworks. So now we're going to play our ad.
Trees protect our kids from sunburns. They clean our air so we can breathe easy. They provide healthy food for our communities. They conserve energy so our children can have a better future. Trees bring us together. Every year, the city of Asheville loses more trees to new construction. We love Asheville's trees, but how can we protect them? Asheville Greenworks is working with the community and the city of Asheville to protect our urban forest. Volunteers, donors, and advocates at Asheville Greenworks help support a clean and green environment. So join us. How will you love your trees?
So Greenworks is a local organization working in Western North Carolina, and they're actually one of the most active volunteer organizations working in Western North Carolina. That's a nonprofit. They were established in 1973, and they work with actively in the communities to help with clearing of trees, planting new trees, basically anything to conserve and grow our urban forests and forests in the surrounding areas. Parker was working as an intern with Greenworks this semester, and we talked with Dawn Chavez, who you saw in the commercial that's an executive producer for Greenworks. And she explained that they're doing the Love Your Trees campaign, and that they wanted a commercial that would target their specific audience, which was homeowners, people anywhere from their 20s and on, essentially anyone that could be homeowners, anyone that can make a difference with trees. So we wanted to have that represented as a large audience. So I'm going to let Braulio talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah. So the first step that we actually took to figure out what our target audience would be was look at just kind of past promotional ads that Greenworks had done in the past. And one thing that we did learn was that a lot of their ads involved humans interacting with nature. So that's what we try to kind of like portray in our ad. And we also try to narrow it down, like what kind of demographic we were trying to target. And we figured that homeowners would provide a very diverse group, because you have, elderly couples, you have different like families, like, that are like from different ethnicities, you have children. So it just really worked to our advantage to use just, homeowners. After we figured that out, we tried to appeal to the emotions, try to get we try to get people to recognize that this is something that affects everyone. So we tried to play to their emotions, and once we did that, we tried to follow up with that call to action. How will you love your trees? And a couple of things that we did to try to appeal to their emotions was film in like really recognizable spots in Asheville that people would honestly like be kind of familiar with, like the Botanical Gardens, and also I believe it was Malvern Hills Park. And yeah, if you see throughout the video, there's like everything just basically humans interacting with nature.
And so before we started writing our script and filming, we went around and asked different homeowners what emotional connections they had with trees and if they knew how trees benefited them in Asheville. We realized that not everyone had these answers readily available, and so we wanted to start our script reminding people of those benefits. From there, we wanted to inform them of the situation Asheville is in currently, losing trees more and more to new construction. Then we provided them with a solution. Asheville Greenworks is working with the community and the city of Asheville to preserve the urban forest. And then we invited people, we gave a call to action for viewers to donate, volunteer, and advocate. We wanted to include these different opportunities so that there would be something accessible to any homeowner in the area. We ended it with the most straightforward call to action we could: how will you love your trees? Looking back on the volunteering, donating, and advocating, we really wanted this to be as direct as possible. So we'll play that again.
Trees protect our kids from sunburns. They clean our air so we can breathe easy. They provide healthy food for our communities. They conserve energy so our children can have a better future. Trees bring us together. Every year, the city of Asheville loses more trees to new construction. We love Asheville's trees, but how can we protect them? Asheville Greenworks is working with the community and the city of Asheville to protect our urban forest. Volunteers, donors, and advocates at Asheville Greenworks help support a clean and green environment. So join us. How will you love your trees?
So any questions?
What would you say your objective was? Was it to drive up membership for Greenworks, create what were you trying to do with your ad?
Well, when we spoke with Dawn Chavez, the executive director, she said that she wanted this ad to build awareness of the benefits of trees in the urban environment. And so we wanted to add a call to action to that, inviting people to volunteer, donate, or advocate for Asheville Greenworks. At the end of the commercial, we provided their URL as well as their phone number so that people could easily contact them for more information about that.
So it's to create awareness, don't let me put words in your mouth, but create awareness and join Greenworks too.
Yeah, an invitation to join them in that mission.
Did you think about putting a fruit tree or nut tree in there? Just curious.
Well, we were working around when things were going to be blooming. And it's kind of hard to find an in-bloom fruit tree in February and March.
But one of the things that we can say though, we really got lucky with one of the couples towards the end, the elderly couple, the Millers, right? That tree that we filmed at their home, they planted that, the man planted that tree like 50 years ago. So we kind of wanted to we got in something, I guess, really meaningful in that shot because, besides the couple, we had a tree that was planted by someone like 50 years ago. So that was pretty amazing.
Nice story.
It's difficult. I recognize, of course, I grew up on a farm though. You gotta put that in there, that you're out of season. You're out of season. The other part is it's difficult to get a large tree in a frame with close-ups of faces.
Yeah.
So you would have to have another cut to show, and that would be a challenge. Okay, but the season is the biggest challenge here.
Yeah, definitely. But towards the end, we definitely tried to kind of get a shot of them, like a wider shot of them walking, and try to put in more trees. But again, it's really difficult to get a shot of just the whole trees, and then trying to focus on human interaction with nature.
I found it compelling that there's less trees because of construction in Asheville, and that came through.
Yeah.
And to me, that's
Yeah.
something to fight against.
It's like, don't cut the tree down.
That's a call to arms.
Don't cut your tree down.
Right.
Yeah.
If you like that URL or phone number, just let us know.
I got that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have to ask you all to leave the room now so the judges can confirm. But before you go, you have to eat all the food so we can get food next year, okay? You are coming back in. The judges are going to confer. I'm only here to guide them. And please take the food with you. See you in a few minutes. Everyone back? Everyone ready? Okay, so we have something that has never happened before. The judges have suggested that instead of me teaching class on Thursday, that they will go over the ads and they'll say what they liked and they didn't like for each of them. However, there will be class on Thursday. So, thank the judges for, spending a little bit of extra time, because this should be helpful to all of you. So, sure, go ahead. So I'm going to run through these in the order they were presented, okay? So first, if we could have the comments on the Don't Litter campaign.
Want me to start?
Go ahead, yeah.
I liked the beginning. I liked the suspense with it. It was suspenseful for me, and I thought it had emotion. So it was effective for me. The part I would invite you to think more about would be trying to target somebody. To me, littering is an act of not caring. And so how do you get someone who's already probably not caring to care more? And so maybe it would work for that. I'm not sure. That's my comment on that.
Okay. I had a little difficulty getting the connection between the ultrasound and the littering. I made it towards the end. Perhaps seeing faces of young children would have resonated a little better if I was at a playground and there's cigarette butts around or trash around, so that when you go to interact with your day, this is this place. Maybe that would have made the better connection. The music I found to be very somber. My professor would have said to me back in the day that I loved it to death, and that might be part of what I'm saying, is that I knew this was some of the appeal was there. I just needed to make more of the connection, and the music didn't quite fit for me.
Good. I think the judges saw it pretty much the same way. I was a little confused at the beginning. Maybe a young child or a baby or something would have been a more effective. We didn't expect you to have a baby for this class, but rather than the sonogram would have been more effective. But I thought it was an effective ad. We don't want to come out of this too negative. I thought it was good,
Yeah.
but could have been clearer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And water conservation.
Okay, I thought it was, to me, I thought it was effective, and I liked the music, as I mentioned. I didn't understand all the visuals because, as I mentioned, even when we were showing it, it looked like a fairly normal day at a fairly normal house. So I didn't see if you were promoting people were abusing water. And as I mentioned, I thought it was a good message, but I thought it could have added a one-liner saying we're using in our country 30% more than the rest of the world, or we have a chance to reduce by 20%, we're wasting our water. That would have been a more maybe compelling little tagline towards the end of the ad. But I thought the visuals were good, the music was upbeat. I thought it was a nice ad.
Selection of music isn't easy, and particularly when you're doing it royalty-free, okay? That isn't easy. And the first thing I wrote down was that this music, it was uplifting. I did like the tempo of that. Tempo to me is very important. If I'm watching something for 30 seconds, it's got to catch my attention, and it's got to match with the visual, right? Because this is a visual. What I would have liked to have seen with water when it comes to conservation, perhaps watering the yard, washing your car, things that you could choose not to do or do less frequently. And except for brushing your teeth, the other things, like I'm not going to cut out my coffee, okay? I'm still going to bathe, but like a shorter shower maybe, that type of thing. So I thought maybe those connections you could use. But the other one I think is that it does create more awareness, and I would encourage you to go with that message, more awareness about your water consumption. There is an implied message in there, an implied call to action to conserve, but it's not overt. And for 30 seconds, you would really have to be very overt. You'd almost need to have someone coming behind and shutting the faucet off.
Yeah, my comments are pretty similar. I mean, it looked good. It had the message at the end. I thought that choosing pet, and I'm not a pet owner, but I wouldn't go there. I think you risk people thinking you're telling me not to give my dog water. There were better examples that I would have chosen, and I would have, invite you to think about maybe making it annoying. Leave that water running for 15, 20 seconds during the ad. Have somebody get a phone call, leave the water running. Do something like that to clue people into, no, you don't like watching that, you probably do it yourself, maybe you should. That would be my guidance on it.
Good, thank you. And get active.
Good, yeah, I thought get active. I
Who sat down?
thought it was a positive message, and I like the various activities. And there is a lot to do around Asheville, so I thought that message came through. Maybe the comments among the judges, we thought maybe we could have synced some of the visuals with the music a little bit better. The voiceover could have been a little bit better, but these are just nitpicks, I would say. We thought the participants could have been happier. We could have been happier lifting weights instead of this painful expression walking around. So that's just a little nitpick thing. You could have looked happier. Okay, is that fair?
Want me to go straight in line? Okay. Voiceovers are difficult. Okay, number one, voiceovers are difficult. I perhaps, now for radio, voiceovers didn't lend themselves. And for the content of the voiceover, the message comes across. But I'm watching this, and you had good variety in the things, but I wanted a little faster tempo because it's get active. And get active to me means move, and it means move fast and enjoying what you're doing. And so again, visually, I was wanting to see more cuts, okay? I was wanting to see a faster tempo with it. And so that's what I want the tempo and the slogan to match, and then repetition of that slogan throughout of getting active. But again, good variety. I thought maybe you could put some statistics in there too, as far as why getting active. I don't know when it comes with millennials, with your target of students, of college students, of how physically fit you are or not. I know obesity is an issue in the United States across the board, so I didn't know how that, fits in.
And maybe we should just acknowledge that a lot of these were targeted at millennials, and I'm more kind of from the prior millennium myself. But I kind of look for the emotion, because you got to grab people. There's just all this clutter in our lives, information clutter. And like your facial expression, that got me. And the script part that said, that acknowledged the difficulties in student lives, that was good. I needed, if you did another take on this, get some happier faces when you lift that weight with some triumph, get somebody taking that big step up the rock and feeling good. Get some more emotion into the solution end of that. That would be my guidance on it.
Thank you. And next is Awake, Aware, Alive.
Should I go first?
Go ahead.
Switch the line.
Okay. I think I commented earlier the break in the music and, the light on your face. That was all really effective. It's a challenging ad to have picked because we've all had driver's ed and those horrible videos. So it's a little hard not to kind of summon people going, yeah, I know. That's a hard hill to climb on that one, but I thought you guys did a good job with it overall.
Again, you've probably picked up on a theme. I keep talking about the visual aspect of it. This one, I thought for 30 seconds that you had a really good narrative, and that it built and it hit the climax, and the sound worked perfect for that.
I agree with that.
Okay, the sound worked perfect for that. I was a little confused at the number in the beginning, because the number and you have one choice. I got the next one. And so I thought that number was, I called it, if I had been drinking too much, you come get me. okay? And that was a little bit of the disconnect there for me, was in the number. I would have saved the number just for the end, okay, for more from additional information or something like that. But I thought that was the call to, I missed that part. And I missed it both times, okay? You had to kind of explain it. Okay. But again, I thought it was a really good narrative. You understand what I mean by that? Of building it, a nice climax.
Yeah, mine would be all the same comments. I was a little bit confused by the phone number, but I thought the message was very impactful and dynamic. I'm glad Alex is okay. He made it through, right? We cleared that up. Maybe a gee whiz number, though. Number I heard the other night, on Friday nights, 14% of people on the roads here in Asheville are drunk, legally drunk. Don't quote me on that, but I mean, a gee whiz number I thought would have been maybe impactful to get people's attention. And again, you heard about the phone number, what that was, but I thought it was a really good ad.
I'll chime in one more comment on the phone number issue, which is to recognize the difficulty. I mean, I hear you, Sonia, but I voiced an ad for UNC Asheville's Family Business Forum. And 30 seconds, and I have all this content to get in there. I wrote the script, I voiced it, it was on a number of commercial radio stations in town. How do you get people to get to where they need to go for more information? And they're not going to remember a phone number on the radio. They're not going to remember that phone number unless you have a really easy URL or a great tagline. It's really hard. So you might go with a tagline that someone can Google. What I was stuck with, what I came up with for Asheville Family Business Forum, is to tell people to Google Asheville Family Biz. And I checked it before we put it on because I thought maybe they could remember that. Rather than try to give a phone number or URL. But I want to recognize that that's a tough issue that you face with that.
Good, very good. And comments on Pledge 60?
Okay, I mean, I would say the judges thought that was a really effective ad, and of course, I think we were three suckers for these young kids showing so much energy, after a tough day here at the office, and to see these kids running around gave us so much energy to even look at, maybe want to go out and play. So I liked it. I liked it very much, and and we commented on this, the amount of work that went in to get permission from the parents and the school to line all this up showed a lot of effort and good faith effort. Those things just don't happen, so we appreciated that. I would say it was just a tagline away from super, because at the end I was still not sure, and again I'm showing my age, what Play 60 was. That was the only thing. If we could have added a tagline, play 60 minutes a day, or get out there and make it happen for 60 minutes a day or something like this, that was the only thing that I thought made it. It was a B+ to an A, let's say. Those would be my comments. But I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to agree that this was a really feel-good ad. This was really feel-good. Other ones, I thought it was very equitable in that it's geared towards elementary, middle school children, and you had them speaking, and you didn't make it seem or them seem dumb, if that makes sense. I really liked that was very equitable in that. I thought the voiceover you had worked well. I thought the music and the faces were great. The cuts were clean. Again, I'm going to hit on that visual aspect coming in. The cuts were so clean. I thought that it was TV internet ready. Okay, one of the things to look at. And now for me, I think it just depends. Like if you have young children, and we have young grandchildren, so I knew that meant 60 minutes of activity a day. Straight up, I'm going to say that. I'm going to agree that's going to be a demographic that looks at it and says, "What are you talking about?" And the 60 minutes of activity, and that would get it. And that's a disconnect. Okay, with it. But again, I thought it was a real feel-good ad.
Yeah, and I didn't have the same issue that the other two judges did with figuring the tagline, because I figure as someone who watches sports TV, any spot that's part of a campaign you're going to see numerous times, and I would just, if I didn't know what it was, I'd just Google Play 60 to see what is this. That worked for me. I thought it was really effective. The only possible thing I might do in a recut would be to consider a really quick scene of a kid sitting on the sideline and other kids inviting them in.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice one, yeah.
Just to get at the kid, the kids who want to run around, hey, they don't need the commercial. It's how do you help them get the other kids in? So that was just an idea.
It was great game face, though.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
game face, that was great.
Yeah.
Your game face.
Good. And finally, Greenworks.
This is a really good ad. It was clear from beginning to end. It was slower. It was more for people like me. But that's not why I think it really worked for its target audience. It told a good story. It had good information in a short period of time. You had a very persuasive speaker at the end, which is always helpful. And I like the interrupted kiss. I like the little something in there that gives it a little more human touch and not just a message.
I thought that it was quite good. It was subtle but clear on don't cut your trees. Okay. Now, having said this, for transparency, I learned Parker is in one of my classes, and she has service learning classes for Love Your Trees campaign. So I'm really familiar with the Love Your Trees campaign and with Asheville Greenworks. So I just wanted to put that up. So I did let the other two judges kind of weigh in overall on this. It's a very good ad. I like how you had trees as part of our lives. I really appreciate that seasonally, this is not the season to take photos and stuff of trees because they're not in bloom, okay? So I really respect that. Yeah, so I liked the part of just the benefits of trees and then showing, because it brings back memories of things that we do with our families on picnics, dating, so forth, around trees. So I like that.
Same comments. I found it very compelling. I liked it. I liked the little stories that were in there, and I think we closed it very strong with the guest speaker. So I liked it, and I think I appreciated the fact that you had a target audience and you identified it. It was homeowners and people that can really make a difference in the community to keep Asheville green. So I found that was clear and effective, and it worked well for me. Maybe, and again, I like numbers, maybe a gee whiz number saying we've lost 10% of our green space to construction over the last 10 years maybe would have added to that, to your storyline, but I found it very effective.
So, the bit you're waiting for. In third place, Awake, Aware, Alive. So when I said at the beginning that something happened that has never happened before.
That's not it either. Sorry.
I let someone have a cell phone in my class. It took so long to judge because first and second were so close that the judges decided we have joint winners. In first place, Pledge 60, and in first place, Greenworks. Katie, what is your project called? Play 60. Play 60. I had it written out. Play 60 in first place.